This is one of my favorite pieces. I might have told some of you guys at one time that my aunt, my father's brother's wife, Aunt Patsy or Patricia, one of my favorite people, my godmother, and she and my mom had this amazing relationship. They would take things from each other's houses every time they went to visit. My aunt and uncle lived in Missouri, and then they lived in Florida, and then they lived in Atlanta. And my parents lived in Texas, and then Atlanta, and then North Carolina. And so every time there was somebody visiting, they would take things from each other. They would steal yard art. They would take pieces in the house, bowls, sculptures. But this is one that went back and forth. And when my mother passed away in 2016, my aunt, it was still before she had dementia so bad that it was difficult for her, but she was there. And this was hanging in my mom's window by the front door, my mom and dad's window by the front door. And so my Aunt Patsy said, "Oh, if your mother was still here, I would take that." And I said, "Well, why don't you just take it? You can have it." And she said, "No, because it's no fun unless I actually take it from her." So every time I look at this, it sits, I have to do some work on it because it got a little cracked, but it sits in the kitchen window so the light can shine through it. And it reminds me of the mountains that my parents lived in for 20 years that is beautiful and gorgeous and amazing. But it also always reminds me of the deep, deep love that my aunt and my mother shared, and really that all of my family shared. They're all gone now. My dad, his two sisters and their spouses, his brother and my aunt and my mom and my dad, they're all gone. But we have these amazing, beautiful pieces that remind us the love that we were brought up in. It was funny. Those two women together were hysterical. And every time I look at that, I think, oh gosh, I hope my siblings and my in-laws, I hope we have that much fun with each other until we just are no longer, because it was fun to be raised in a house like that. And to me, that love and that fun and that joy that comes from a family and from the love that's so deep, and it hurts my heart when people don't really have that kind of love. But that kind of love to me, in the family I grew up in, that love was shown from generation to generation and through their faith in God. All of them has found so much joy in their relationship with God and in serving Christ and for doing for others, that, even when times were bad, even when things were difficult and illnesses set in, they still enjoyed one another and still enjoyed loving each other, but also serving God. And so this beautiful stained glass window just reminds me of those two funny, incredible, amazing women who love doing things for other people, but also who love so deeply that they just found joy in the simplest things, like stealing artwork from one another. So I hope one day to remember that the next time I'm at my sister's house, to steal a piece of artwork from her front yard and bring it home with me. Anyway, that is your Wednesday meditation, the 15th of March.